Set up an employee for a promotion. Hi guys, my name is Manish Kumar, and in today's video we will talk about how to set up an employee for a promotion. So basically this is like something from my experience what we do here. So how I see the setting up a promotion. So I always say like there are two key responsibilities of engineering manager: building software, and another is like building team. And these both are like kind of same thing. There is not as such any big difference if you will see how I want to show you. So in the building software, what you do, you actually identify the work items you need to do, you identify timeline when you want to release, and you put roadmap with internal milestone, and you keep sharing progress and tweaking or updating this roadmap. So here I listed a couple of like key items what we do to build a software. So you identify the work items what you need to do, you identify the timeline when the release is supposed to go, and you put your plan on a roadmap, like in first 2 months you're gonna deliver this, then this, and this, and then that's how you're gonna deliver the release. And you, as time goes, you keep sharing progress based upon the progress. If any surprise comes, if anything change, you keep updating your roadmap, your plan, and keep sharing all it with all stakeholders. And when time comes, product is already ready, tested, all you need to just upload or announce a release out there. Building team is also kind of same thing. You perform almost same steps here also. So what you do, first you identify gaps, then you put a plan together with internal milestones, define a timeline, and then keep sharing progress and updating plan accordingly. So if you will see here, same thing you are doing. You are finding like identifying the gaps, and like that kind of like the backlog or the items you have identified for a release. Same thing here. Then you have a timeline, and on that timeline you put a plan together with the milestones, and you keep sharing progress and updating plan as the time goes by, and as the progress happens. So to explain it with an example, here is a person X. He has aspiration to become an engineering manager, and let's say he's on a junior position, maybe a lead, but every organization has their own path to go at from one position to another. So he's at the lead position, and the next position in his path is like engineering manager, and he want to be there from here. So what you do, first thing you do, you will like analyze the gaps. So what are the gaps? Gaps is like, let's say in this case you realize that he need to get more agile expertise, so maybe to better word brush up agile skills. Then like learn more about team management and experience it, and then maybe learn more on negotiations skills. And I just pick a couple of them from the example, but the goal is like you see like what are the gaps. So because the one key thing, I don't want to derail this video from promotion point of view, but just it is important to know here that a person X, I said, has an aspiration or he want to be an engineering manager, and that also somewhere like your role, that you provide the feedback which helps a person to know what is the best for him. For example, if a person is amazing doing on the technology side, so it's like your job also to have him realize in the feedback that, hey, you are doing amazing on the technical, you should explore something on this line, like get this certification, read this, that will help you to reach on to this level. So that is kind of like a way to help a person in your team, in your organization, so that he can reach at the right place there. Because if he will pick the wrong path at the next stop, he will be in trouble. So when person X is saying I want to be engineering manager, it means what I'm trying to say here is that in your team you agree upon that, and you have continuously provided feedback for him in past that these are your skills, you have like good skills to help team. I saw multiple times you are helping team, you are trying to unblock the people, you are trying to help setting up the right processes, and things like that. So that way he is like kind of aligned with his strength. So now you know that like, yes, if he can improve these things, will be better for him to reach up to that point. Then you have a like you draw a pathway where like you have a timeline, you say like, okay, it's good, let's set up a pathway based on your experience and your knowledge and gap. It seems like maybe starting with maybe 1.5 year window or 2 year window, whatever you think like is good for the person based upon his existing skills and the gap analysis. You put that duration there, and now you should have a plan ready for it. For example, with internal milestones, as I said, like for example, in first 6 months you will be having a small team of maybe couple of engineers, and your job will be to drive a capability with those engineers and drive a scrum. So basically what you are doing is, at this point you are making him more familiar with the team management, having a small team, how to drive and own a capability having your team. And you are also giving him an idea about the scrum model, how to own the scrum, how to drive it, how to unblock the people, so that his gap related to the agile skills, related to the team management things, started getting brush up. And it need time, it takes 2 to 3 5. It's not like one sprint everything done. Good. So in addition to that, you discuss and decide here that what will be the way of measuring the performance. So in the measuring, you say like, okay, we will see like how the sprint completion ratio going on, what is team velocity, is it increasing over time. So and like what are you mention like incoming defect, like to see what quality team is delivering, incoming defect ratio, and the team score, team feedback. These days most of the organization has 360-degree feedback. You get feedback from the team also for the managers, so team feedback will help here also, that how team is feeling, how much confident team is, what kind of concerns team see here, so that you can pick them and work on them, and you can fit them in your roadmap and in your plan. So now you see this is our first milestone, and you define it, and like now you see like, okay, sprint completion ratio went well, velocity, and team is like happy doing the job is there and they are ready. So now you have a second milestone, and that depending again upon uh, the growth and the person skills and the gap analysis. Let's say a year. So you want to work for 2 3 pies next pies, and here you put a like him on a management of for a cross functional team, where like you have a cross functional team and driving the entire initiative. And for this so the milestone I'm putting is like at by the 6 months this has to be achieved, by 1 year this has to be achieved kind of thing. So driving entire initiative, definitely driving cross functional team scrums, and you define the same measuring metrics also for this. Like it most probably I generally see that these metrics what I'm sharing it like work in my case. So now team is bigger, but sprint completion ratio is still matter, and team velocity is still important to be handled, and we need to keep it handling. Incoming defect ratio is most important for quality point of view, and team feedback is also important here. So now you see that the person is getting experience to drive the entire initiative, where like multiple functional teams involved, and like they are working together, they are collaborating together, and like driving, and it's his ownership to make sure that their productivity is good, that software quality is good, and like team having a good, providing a good feedback, feeling motivated, and don't see any major concern, or if they see any major concern, you make sure that you put that into your roadmap and ensure that those things are like taken care of. So now person X went through this journey. He has a great and good experience up to this point. Now he's doing good with the cross-functional team. He started like, and in addition to that, one thing we missed here is like, which we have to bring into this discussion also. I just don't want to keep it aside, that you define that he's getting the agile skills training also. So you define at different steps. You define that certain certifications or in-house courses. Most of the companies these days have their in-house courses, and they started calling like company X university. Within companies they give the names for them. So whatever training process you have in-house for that particular skills, you make sure that the person enroll for them, they start getting those certifications up to 1 year to handle cross-functional. If something like external certification is needed and your organization reimburse those things, that's also good thing, some external certifications, just to have him confidence on that. Like external certifications, like when you get a certification, I always say that like it's not necessarily you feel it like I learned a lot into that or something, but at least you evaluated yourself on a public forum where you see like 100 or 1,000 of people are going and getting this certification to know the agile skills. Do I have it, or do I, like for example PMIACP, when I did this certification, I did the study entire thing, I went through with the entire process, I have that test, and I got a score. Now I felt it like I'm in a small group out of this entire world, and I have evaluated myself where I lie in this group, and that gives you a self confidence. Now when you are talking someone, you are discussing about agile, you know the entire key theory behind it. So so that kind of confidence it builds. So but again, like I'm not saying like person to go out there and pay from his pocket. If your organization support that kind of thing, please make sure that the person knowing about it and targeting it and achieving it, and that's on the roadmap, so that you can make sure that yes, by this point he is now trained by a official channel and what within our organization policies and windows. So now once you have like 1 year target, he's cross functional, and you feel like everything is going good, results are good, you have in parallel what you are doing, you are also sharing the feedback like we were doing earlier. Up here we were sharing the feedback and progress with the lead the stakeholders. Same way here also, you need to make sure you are sharing this entire plan with the right set of people. It could be your leadership team, because you are putting him on this pathway. It could be your HR team, because you want them to be aware that that is something what you are putting on the path, and that maybe something they will know within 6 months or 1 year or 1.5 year. So you kind of like continuously providing feedback, and the feedback, and that is, as I said, like every time I say feedback, every time I say progress, I'm saying it's data oriented. No theory, oh yeah, he's doing great, I know, I heard about it. No, this is the data. See, continuously sprint completion ratio with this cross functional team is going well. This is the team feedback score coming for him. This is the velocity team is having right now. And so, and anything which is in terms of data helps you a lot. Easy to convince, no questions, everyone happily accept it, and that's it. Like so we trust God, everyone else need data. So then, like when you think like time comes, and I'm expecting like everything went well and it's on time and on track, and by this time you think like, okay, yes, now it's time to have him to be placed on an engineering manager position for a agile train. And at this point you have like couple of like initiatives driving the team, having multiple scrum teams underneath there, and those are like cross functional teams. So you have the entire thing. So basically what you are doing is that up to this time, now you want him to start playing the role of engineering manager, and you have the same kind of like measurement metrics. Now he is kind of driving the entire agile train, playing the full-fledged role of engineering management. And he is like one thing which kind of like I have not explicitly mentioned, but when I'm saying like putting him for driving the team and things, like it's like contributing into team performance. So this is from this level also, like when he was like having, so he was contributing into team performance. So when you are like sharing team performance, generating data for team performance, he's like there helping you into that, contributing, adding value into that. And then up to this point at engineering manager, when he's starting handling agile train, maybe you may want him to start sharing the team performance feedback also, because that's his responsibility gonna be now. So he went through with the entire pathway, he went through with the entire journey. At every time you keep discussing about progress, you keep bringing the right support for him, you keep bringing the right training, technology training, or skill set training, or like sometimes you sitting with him and helping him out into that. So all those things happen, and up to this 1.5 year window, he's full-fledged started happening engineering manager role, and like start driving the agile train. So you along with team performance, I just want to mention that he's also like coming into on the negotiation table with business guys, and getting experience of that also, kind of thing. So once you think like after this, like once you feel like he has the enough experience and the performance and data is showing that yes, that is good, and the continuously progress you are sharing with your leaders are like on track. So at some point, it's the time now. You make a case, you put his data oriented achievements on a forum, and you make a case and you present it for the right set of people to make the final take. And now it's a more or less kind of a formality, because he already started doing the things, he already learned the things, and he's doing great here. That's how I always consider it. And this is, I take an example, it's close to the real example. I did not touch down each and every branches and mention everything, because some things are like pretty obvious here, but just to give a sense of idea how I relate the team building with software development, and that's not too much different. We don't need to do too much of different things. So I would love to hear your experiences, your feedbacks, and how you do it, what works for you, what didn't work for you, and Please subscribe my channel, and thank you so much guys for joining the session. See you in another session.